Hey, it's Heidi from A Lively Hope, and I have a beginner-friendly embroidery project for you today. So we did this in my elementary embroidery class recently, and it was a super fun project. We're going to be making Valentine embroidered napkins. So I will link below. I have this free pattern on my blog. You can choose either this heart or this daisy. We're going to just stitch it right in the corner here. I used these napkins that I found on Amazon. They seem pretty good quality. They're going to be nice to stitch through. So you need a napkin. You need your pattern. I printed this on Fabri-Salvi, which I will also link below. This is my favorite way to transfer a pattern. You've got your hoop, scissors, needle, and thread. I'm using some red thread today. So first thing we're going to do is put our hoop on. I want my heart to be kind of at an angle compared to the sides. You could of course do it straight on if that's what you prefer. So we're going to make sure this hoop is nice and tight and there are no wrinkles in there. Should sound like a drum. And then I'm going to pull off the Fabri-Salvi. I'm going to just trim it a little bit. And then you pull this off. It's just like a sticker. Put that right in, and then I usually rub over the top of it. So we will stitch right through this, and then when we're done, I'll put this in water. You can run it under a faucet or stick it in water to soak, and this Fabri-Salvi will dissolve, and it just leaves your stitching there. Very simple. So I'm going to get my thread ready. I'm going to use 3 strands. When I do this with kids, I like to double the thread over and tie it doubled over, if that makes sense. So I'll show you. I'll thread the needle and then pull it so it's double and then knot it both ends together, and that way kids don't have to worry about their needle falling off. Oftentimes, if they do it kind of the more traditional way where you knot one end and then have this end hanging, this other end hanging, they will pull so hard that it pulls right off the needle, and that ends up being a big frustration. I don't generally do it that way for me. I just like kind of a lighter look rather than having it doubled, but that is totally an option. So just tied a knot in the end, and we're going to start here. I'm just going to do a back stitch. This is a great way to practice and have a simple project done when you're done. So I'll just go ahead 1 stitch length to set this up, and then I go forward a stitch length. And then come back and meet that first stitch. And that's what we'll do just all the way around. Come forward a stitch length. So it looks like there's a gap there. I mean, there is a gap there at this point. And then you come back and meet the previous stitch. Usually knots like that can be solved just by pulling gently on either side. Okay, I'm going to speed this up now. Okay, so that is stitched, and I've got some warm water here. I'll just put this in. You can either just leave it there and let it soak, or you can kind of work at it a little bit. But you can see that the Fabrisolve is dissolving, and it just leaves your stitching. So now I'll make sure everything is rinsed off, and then I'll just let that dry and it'll be ready to use.